Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Strixhaven draft here on the channel. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. Click that little bell icon so you get notified when I post future videos as well. If you want to catch all of the action live, you can check it out at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. You can also support my content directly via the Patreon at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. We have opened up a spicy mythic rare here of Velomachus Lorehold. Absolutely fantastic. Opening up a 7-mana 5/5 dragon that has vigilance, flying, and haste. So comes down, attacks, he attack, he protect, and he gets spell from your deck. Because when he attacks, you look at the top 7. You can cast instants or sorceries. And overall, just a fantastic card. I find it very hard to imagine this card not being in my final deck in some capacity, either as a splash or just playing straight up red-white. Teferi's Protection is pretty, neat as a way to be like a fog / protect all your stuff. I don't know how good it is, but it's interesting. It's good in Commander because it protects you from wraths and stuff, but that's not really a thing in Limited. It's probably not that great in Limited, but it's like a protection spell for a creature or like a temporary fog. I do like Velomachus a lot, though. I don't think it's really particularly close. If it wasn't in the pack, I think I would probably take this Mage Hunter's Onslaught as just a good removal spell, or maybe the Inkling Summoning card. Okay, so we've got Velomachus, and then we don't see any cards that can go into red-white. Maybe we aren't going to end up playing the Velomachus. I said it'd be hard to imagine. I guess there's a Lorehold Pledge Mage, but there's no way I take a Lorehold Pledge Mage over some of these other cards. Zimone Quandrix Prodigy is quite good. Quandrix Cultivator is quite good. They're both better than the Biomathematician. Bury-in Books is pretty reasonable. One of the things in these sorts of guild sets is you have to be willing to give up on your bomb rare sometimes in order to find the open guild, because if I get past a bunch of good blue-green cards, I end up with a better deck overall. We're not going to give up on it, though, but we'll just take a blue-green card here. Probably the Zimone over the Quandrix Cultivator. They're both good. I don't love this card as much. It's just, I'd rather just have a creature token. But I think I'm going to take the Zimone over the Cultivator. I just want to get some experience with Zimone. I haven't gotten to play with it. After that, I would take Cultivator. And then probably Biomathematician and then the Lorehold Pledge Mage. But Zimone's a good card. And now there is Expressive Iteration is the best card in this pack. There's, again, not a super good red or white card. This card's just okay. Eureka Moment's okay. I don't mind taking a blue-red card because I could splash Velomachus in a blue-red deck. Not a big fan of the all-caps G-Dorf. It sounds like you're yelling at me, which doesn't even make sense. I think Golden Ratio is potentially reasonable as a card in some decks, but I don't think you have to take it very highly. But I think Expressive Iteration is quite good. And then after this, if this wasn't in the pack, I would probably take Eureka Moment. Yeah, I probably would take Eureka Moment, just some extra card draw and ramp. Or Silver Quill Pledge Mage, that's a reasonable card as well. Okey-doke. Now there is a Pilgrim of the Ages. This goes well with the Velomachus plan. There is a Mind's Desire, which is not particularly good in Limited, in normal Limited sets. There is a 2-drop. There's an Honor Troll, which can do some good things, but I don't think it's a super high priority for my deck at the moment. Introduction to Annihilation. Kind of like Pilgrim of Ages here. Then maybe Honor Troll second out of this pack. Lorehold Pledge Mage again. I'm just going to take Pilgrim of Ages. So it's looking like black-white might be open. We're seeing this is a good black-white card, this is a good black-white card, this is a good black-white card, or at least reasonable. Curate is reasonable as well. This card's all right. Dueling Coach versus Humiliate is interesting. guess Dueling Coach could technically work in a red-white deck. I don't know how much support there would be for just a counters deck in red-white. Humiliate seems like a little bit better than Dueling Coach. And we've seen a couple of Dusk Mages. I'm just going to take Humiliate. We'll see where we end up here. And then there's a pick 6 Quandrix Cultivator, so maybe we're going back towards Quandrix. Waldron Carrick's okay, but I don't prioritize it at all. And there's also Scurrid Colony, Serpentine Curve, and Waterfall Aerialist, so maybe blue is open. There's a couple of red cards, a black card, but I think Quandrix Cultivator is the best card in this pack by a lot. And now there is Environmental Sciences as a good card. I like having access to this, I think. There's also Rise of Exodus if I wanted to go more of a black-white control option, splashing Velomachus. But even if I do have Rise, I'd like to have Environmental Sciences. And I think this is a pretty high priority to get the first copy. So Pillar Drop Rescue is also pretty reasonable. Thrilling Discovery is not my favorite. This card's pretty replaceable. I like getting an Environmental Sciences. Okay, so this is the 8th pick. This card's reasonable. Opt is reasonable. Relic Sloth is reasonable. We haven't really seen red-white cards, so I don't think red-white is particularly open here. Ogier Battle Seer is okay. Could just take Opt. Could take Big Play. I'll take Opt. Maybe I'll get some stuff that cares about triggering that sort of thing. Charge Through versus Leyline. Let's look at our deck. So we have a couple good blue-green cards. We have a blue-red card, a couple black-white cards, and then a Velomachus. Maybe I do want this Leyline Invocation over Charge Through. I'll take Charge Through, I think. Now there's a black-white duel. There's also Cogwork Archivist, Owlin Shield Mage. I guess I'd rather have the Owlin. It's been a tough draft, so it's going to maybe be more necessary to make playables in that situation. Okie doke. Take that just in case. Take another Owlin. Maybe we are finding black-white as being a lane. Getting a couple Owlins late. So if we sorted our cards by piles, we have 2 good blue-green cards. 1 good or 2 good red-white cards. This is reasonable in black-white. Okay, maybe Guiding Voice is a little bit of a signal point as well. And we can get our Environmental Sciences to find Velomachus mana. This has been tough. Thrilling Discovery last pick. Okie doke. So what do we have here? We have Swords to Plowshares, which is just an excellent card, obviously. Culling Ritual, pretty good card too. In some decks. Not really our deck at all. Explosive Welcome. Oh, we can't cast that off of Velomachus. Don't have a strong opinion on Learn yet. I think Mage Hunter's Onslaught's also good, but not as good as Swords, just so efficient. I think we're probably going to play a white deck. I do want to play Velomachus, and we got a couple late Owlins. Those Zimone and Quandrix didn't really look like they were working out for us. I do like the Pledge Mage a decent amount, but we're just going to take the swords, I think. Pretty sure this card's a house. Pretty sure this card is like an unbeatable bomb. Whenever a creature you have dies, you get a 3/2 flyer. That seems pretty good to me. I do like Inkling Summoning too. But we're just going to take this and then try to play black-white and splash Velomachus off of a couple learned cards in this Environmental Sciences in one mountain or something. Inkling Summoning might be my second pick out of this pack, just so I can get a good lesson, but I think I go this, Inkling Summoning, which is just a good card, then maybe Brackish Trudge over Pillar Drop. I think Pillar Drop's okay, though. But I think I just like getting a cheaper card. We're cruising. This is another really powerful card. So we found our lane here. Might have to play this Ageless Guardian. Light Scribe is just a complete beating if you have any number of creatures in play. We have 5 creatures, we can get a couple more. I really like Pilgrim of Ages, I think that'll be good in the deck. Maybe I can get this to come back. Maybe I'll wield Defiant Strike, that works well with Light Scribe. Okay, now there's another tough pick, because there's a lot of cards that we could use. I think Spiteful Squad is enough better than Eager First Year that I'm willing to take the Spiteful Squad. And then Rise of Exodus versus Spiteful Squad's interesting. Heated Debate's quite good. But I think we want to just keep taking on color cards and then only rely on splashing the Velomachus for now. Rise of Exodus is also nice. We have so far swords as removal and nothing much else. I could splash Heated Debate, but I'm not going to take it over a card that's on color right now. Because I want to be able to cast this, so I don't want to splash very many cards. Because it's hard to cast, I don't want to be able to cast it. I don't have a ton of 4-drops, and this card seems quite good to me. Nice defensive body, works with my counter themes. Now I'll take a 2-drop that, I don't know, this card seems pretty good to me as well. There's another Spiteful Squad. I think these are close probably, but I just want to get another 2-drop. So that way I can maybe avoid playing Ageless Guardian. But I like Silver Quill Apprentice. After that, I think I would take Spiteful Squad over the Rise of Exodus again. But I do like Rise of Exodus. That's just a removal spell to catch all. But I don't think you can play too many of them, so you just prioritize cheap cards in draft and it works out better. This card's pretty great. This card's also pretty nice in red decks. Think Campus Guide could be reasonable as another splash at source. We don't need multiple Environmental Sciences for our sideboard. I don't really want to splash Rip Apart. Again, because I have Dramatic Finale, I really only want to splash Velomachus. And I'm just going to take the Silver Quill Campus to help me cast my multicolored 2-drops more easily. Lumomancer's not playable, in my opinion. I could take Professor's Warning. I could take Defend the Campus. Currently, Velomachus doesn't have a lot of things to cast. He's got Swords, he's got Guiding Voice, he's got Spiteful Squad. I might play one of these. Pillar Drop Rescuer is nice. Top end card, can get back some of my decent cards, like my Light Scribe, or my Apprentice, or my Pilgrim of Ages, if I don't want to spend the extra mana to get the Pilgrim back on its own. Brackish Trudge. Could be okay. I have not any life gain yet. But maybe I can get some. Better than Beaming Defiance, I think. I think Agonizing Remorse is not great. Another Pillar Drop Rescuer. Could just take another Brackish Trudge. It's not great in my defensive deck. Maybe I only want one copy of that, and I'd rather have Pillar Drop. I'm seeming to be more controlling of a deck. Because I might not even play the first Brackish Trudge. Defiant Strike. Or Pledge Mage. Or Pupil. I'm not a super aggressive deck is the thing, it feels like. So I'm probably not a Star Pupil version of the deck, but this card's reasonable. Rise of Extus came back, nice. Heated Debate also came back. And so did Eager First Year. I'm just going to get Rise of Extus. And another Rise of Extus came back. Having a couple of those is reasonable. I don't need Study Break. I'm definitely a more controlling version of the deck, which means I might not want these Owlins. Okay, so we got Velomachus at the top end. So looking at this pack, there is a Galazeth, which we can't play. There is another Rise. I think we'll just take Introduction to Prophecy so that our learn cards have something to go get. And I just like, we have a couple of removal spells, we have a couple of value creatures. We don't really have any life gain, so this Brackish Drudge isn't looking that good. This is life gain as well. Baleful Mastery is quite good. It's like a removal spell that can also just be cast for cheap if I need it. Again, it's nice to get some cards that I can cast off of Velomachus coming in. So we're at 18, so we need 5 more playables from this pack. We could also just play an extra land. I hope to be able to cut the Ageless Guardian. I'll play that. I'll just put it in the sideboard for now. Dramatic Finale number 2, eh? We'll take that. I do wish I could get Inkling Summoning. That would be really nice. But Finale seems quite good to me. Pilgrim. I think after this I would take Inkling Summoning, then Pilgrim, and then Humiliate. But pretty easy Dramatic Finale. I think our deck is looking good. We only need to play 1 mountain, I think, because we have a couple of different cards that can learn up our mountain for Velomachus. Arrogant Poet's much better in a more aggressive version. We have 2 Dramatic Finales, so we just want to grind them out. I think Go Blank could also be okay. Another Introduction to Prophecy might be reasonable too, but we already have 2 cards to go get. Our first one's almost always going to get Sciences. Our second one can get Introduction to Prophecy. We don't have any of the token makers, which is a little bit of a bummer, but such is life. And this is a reasonable 2-drop. I guess that card that was in our graveyard is also pretty good. Oh, my, that was the rare was pretty reasonable too. Spellbinder, there's also Quintorius. Leave your graveyard. We don't really have ways to make things leave the graveyard. We have 2 Pillar Drop Rescuers. This thing, I guess. Pilgrim of Ages. I'm just not going to splash Quintorius. I only want to play 1 mountain. I'll take Spellbinder, I think, over Dueling Coach and Defiant Strike. I wouldn't mind Defiant Strike coming back, though. Is Dusk Mage any good in my deck? I have a Guiding Voice. I've got a Professor's Warning. It could be reasonable. Defend the Campus also might be okay. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. It's going well, Blob. I'm going to take Closing Statement. This card is a beating. Great removal. I can also hit it off Velomachus. Do I want Archway Commons as another red source? That way I'd have my 2 Rise of Extus Archway Commons. I think I'm just going to take Spectre of Fens. I don't need Archway Commons. Because this gives me a little bit of life gain, I think. Which is nice. I guess I'll take this thing. I'll take that. Maybe I end up wanting something like that. Pledge Mage is nice. Humiliate is also nice as well. I don't think I want another Guiding Voice. I'm not even sure if I want the first one, to be quite honest, but I think Humiliate's reasonable. Go blank is fine. This card's pretty solid. In the right deck. I'm so glad you're enjoying them, Soylent. Hi, Eliotol. We're not going to play either of those cards, I don't think. My deck lacks token creation. I don't need tokens. I just need my creatures to be able to die. Maybe I should have taken the Village Rites, because that would have been good with this. Okay. Yeah, you don't need to play a bunch of tokens to make this good. You just have any of your creatures die, and then you get a token. So I have 16 creatures here so far. I'm going to play 1 mountain. Get this into the deck. 7, 14, 15, 16. Kind of feeling like heavier white. So let's just do this for now. 17 lands that way. So these are my 2 lessons. I've got a couple Owlins, but those aren't super good defensive bodies or grindy cards. How much life gain do I have? Not much. So I think I can cut the Brackish Drudge. Other than Mountain? I don't have a way other than Mountain. But I have this Environmental Sciences. So whenever I cast into Rise of Extus, I can go get that. I don't think I'm really a Guiding Voice deck. There's definitely some more controlling elements and some more aggressive elements, but I don't have the 2-drops to support aggression. I didn't really prioritize them super highly. I've got more like defensive, mid-rangey 2-drops, and then this one's just really defensive. But I do want enough 2-drops to be defensive. Guiding Voice is nice for getting my card earlier in the game, and also triggering these guys. Pillar Drop Rescuer can get back a Pledge Mage, which is really nice. I've got a lot of good cheap cards to get back with these Pillar Drops, so I think those are going to be good. Dueling Coach. Let's see how many counters I have. I have 1, 2, 3 counters, 4 counters. He counts himself, but I'm not going to count him. 5 counters, 6 counters. 6 counters for Dueling Coach. I don't think Dueling Coach is really what I need. Just an extra clunky win condition thing when I already have a lot of that sort of thing in my deck. Promising Dusk Mage also might just be like too much effort. I already have 4 3-drops. So my removal suite is pretty good. Then 2 Humiliates is also pretty reasonable. I don't think I need both of these cards. Maybe I cut Professor's Warning. Triggering all my stuff at instant speed is nice. but being able to learn is a real nice advantage. Go Blank could also be reasonable as a grindy card. It's a nice 2-for-1. How many creatures do I have still here? 13 creatures. I really want to keep my creature count high for Dramatic Finale, so I don't think I want to cut any more creatures. Ageless Guardian's not great, but I think I want 4 2-drops defensive bodies. So maybe I have the 2 Humiliates, so I may be fine with cutting that. It's just such a weak card. I do have 2 Humiliates to cast on curve to be disruptive and stuff. So I can add back a creature now. I'm going to add back the Dusk Mage. I think it could be decent. It's not, doesn't need to have the counter. Like, if it ever gets the counter, it's nice. It doesn't need the counter, though. I could also cut Guiding Voice, because I have 2 learn cards and 2 lessons, so Rise of Exodus can just be my fixing. And then I can add back a creature, like I could add back this guy. I don't think I want Go Blank, because if I play Go Blank, it'll make my Humiliates worse. Maybe I want this guy. I don't think I want the Owlin. I already have some expensive stuff. Trudge can come back every time these things get lifelink. Whenever I trigger this, I can pay. How much do I have to pay? 2. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to activate that. Dueling Coach is the last slot that I have. So there's currently 17 lands. I think that's reasonable. Play 17 here. I would like to get another creature in, maybe. These cards maybe aren't as good as they look, but they feel like they should be really good. I don't really have as many 4-drop creatures. I'll just play the Dueling Coach. I think I can afford it. Because this is like a card I can cast whenever. And then this is a removal spell. So I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-drops, but these can be cast later. They're not really impacting the board. And this can help me hit my land drops and stuff. This is what I'm going to start with on my build, I think, in terms of colors, yeah. And I will see you folks in the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support me and my content at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and special thanks to those at the credits level. It is thanks to patrons that I'm able to steadily improve the quality of my videos and produce content on a consistent basis. Even just a couple bucks a month goes a long way, and there are a host of cool rewards you gain access to by becoming a patron. One perk of particular note is my card-by-card grade spreadsheet for Strixhaven, which will provide you with my up-to-date thoughts on every card in the set. If my content has provided you with some value, please consider supporting my work on Patreon, because it really makes a big difference. Without further ado though, let's get to the matches. Welcome to round 1. We will keep this hand. So if they don't play a 2-drop, I don't think I'm going to play Humiliate, because I'd rather get the counter and trigger flying for that guy. Got some ramp here. I'm going to want to take out their card, I think, on a turn coming up. I'm going to go probably Spiteful Squad. A lot of the key cards are 7 mana. So you have 5 this turn. They'll have 6 next turn. Okay, now I'm going to want to target them this turn, I think. think I have to get rid of this guy. I don't have a removal spell right now. I technically should have played this plains because I gave them extra information this way. So that was a slight misplay. I put on full control mode here. Then I can play the Tome Shredder and start growing it. I think I need to make a bluff attack here, and just attack with both and hope they don't block. See what happens. I don't have any removal spells yet, which is a problem. Like, obviously, if I drew Sword to Plowshares, I would just, like, probably win the game on the spot, which is really a nice spot to be. If I draw my Velomachus, I can't currently cast him. Oh, they just put it in their main deck. Look at that, sneaking through the point of damage. Look at me go! Woohoo! Wee! This thing gives this thing trample, but it doesn't really matter because I can block anyway. Easy block. Now, where do I want the counters? Probably onto the Light Scribe. That's fair. I can get that back, though. So they can eat one thing, and then if they attack me, I get it back. Okay, okay. So I can kill... I'm going to use my Rise of Exes to kill their flyer. Because I can block their stuff with my Pilgrim of Ages. And let's see, view battlefield. This thing can exile whatever I target. But I'm going to exile this thing. Yep, getting the environmental sciences. Oh, that's pretty annoying. Yep, no blocks. So I can get back my light scribe and play the light scribe with this thing. That is, I have 7 mana, so I could also just play these two. And this is a 5/5 that can be bigger. I think getting a life linker into play is nice. Obviously not attacking when they can untap it. Yeah, this card's good. I like it. So they can also cast this on this guy to make it an 8/6. Untap this, eat that, so that's a 9/7. I think will. I might have to triple block. They'll cast this, they'll get a learn card. I'll have this back, and I can get back my Pilgrim of Ages later. 3, 6, 7, 8. This can get up to 7. If they have a removal spell, I'm toast. Maybe I was supposed to kill this instead of the Maelstrom Muse. That could have been a big punt. I could see that being incorrect. Oh, thank goodness. Sure. I think I want to get the Pledge Mage for the life gain. Light Scribe's better, but gaining 3 life could just be exactly what I need here. So they cast that, this is unblockable, I go to 8. Let's just say they cast a spell the next turn, I go to 6. So next turn I can cast this and give my guy lifelink. Maybe I was supposed to get my Introduction to Prophecy instead of my Environmental Sciences because I had so many lands. I think being able to cast Velomachus when I draw it is important. And this makes it hard for them to race. Next turn I can do both of these things. Oh, that's just the literal worst case scenario by a lot. Oh, that's brutal. That's how it goes sometimes, though. We need to draw a removal spell, and we do. He delivers. So I have drawn a large number of lands in comparison to them, which has been a decent factor in the game, but I have been using my mana pretty effectively. They also might just be holding lands. Okay. It's been pretty fun, Quantum. Oh, it looks like we're going to get to do it again. Let's go. Unfortunately, we keep drawing lands. But we're going to eventually resolve something here. Oh, yes. Oh, we don't have that many lands left. So we have 2 lands left in our entire deck. And, oh no, there's more swamps over there. So we have 19 cards left. We have about 5 lands. There's a card. That makes me feel a lot safer. I'm pretty afraid of the big blue-red spells that they could have access to. There's also some burn spells in blue-red that are pretty scary that deal exactly 5. Let's go. Taking him down. That was a close game. Very close. We drew well at the end there, but, I mean, we had to struggle through. I mean, they had a lot of lands, too. By the end, they had 4 or 5. They weren't scrying, or because they kept spending just enough mana not to or something. So they had 4, 8. They had 10 lands. I had 12 lands. I was searching up some with that. Both of us kind of in top deck mode. I think one of the key moments of that game was when I decided what to target with my Rise of Extus. If I had targeted their Tome Shredder with Rise of Extus, it would have been a very interesting spot, because I ended up having to triple block this. But if I hadn't killed their flyer, knowing that they had Enthusiastic Study in their hand, I was never going to be able to block it, because at the time I had Spectre in play, and I had like a Pillow Drop Rescuer on the way. So maybe I would have been able to double block, but even if I double block it, that's only 4, so I don't think I would have been able to kill that. So I think I had to kill their flyer, and then it just so happened that I was able to triple block their Tome Shredder. I thought I was dead as soon as they cast this Pigment Storm on my 3-1, because I went down to very low life totals. But then they traded off their Kelpie Guide, which I think was a mistake, because if they don't trade off their Kelpie Guide, all of a sudden they're going to get to 8 mana, they're going to have a tapper available, and having a tapper at that stage of the game is really valuable, because they traded off their Kelpie Guide. I top-decked... what did I top deck to kill it? Oh, I top decked Baleful Mastery. And when I top decked Baleful Mastery, it killed their Prismari Apprentice. And once the Prismari Apprentice was gone, I was able to stabilize with this Pilgrim of Ages. So Pilgrim being able to come back was huge. But yeah, I killed the Prismari Apprentice on the turn when I needed it most. Top deck on a key turn, but yeah, we pretty much drew the same density of spells, but I drew all of my spells towards the end. And I had this extra Pilgrim that was doing good work. So really good match. I think at the time, as soon as I killed their 2/4 flyer, I felt a little bit bad that they had the Tome Shredder dog going off. But I think that it was correct because I wasn't going to be able to block their flyer when they had the combat trick. And the flyer was just going to keep giving them mana discounts and stuff. Okay, on the draw with this hand, 3 planes. I have 8 black sources in the deck. And I have a Pledge Mage that I can actually play. I'm going to keep it. There's a stat where even with like changes and things like that, when you mulligan, your win rate goes down by like 12% immediately or something absurd. It's like a really high number. So even though it looks like I'm going to get stomped this game, I could still stabilize, and I drew the swamp. There we go. And I could still cast this too if they go for like some crazy pump spell, because then it's just a 2 for 2, or if they go for an aura or something. But it's just the way it works sometimes. Okay. So they went 1, 2, 3 on the play. That's a little bit tough. But we do have this to maybe start gaining life back. We have Humiliate next turn to gain 4 because we can give this lifelink and put a counter on it. We could also just cast Baleful Mastery this turn. That is tough. Very reasonable for them to have that card. Okay, Dramatic Finale. Not going to do what we need here. We're just going to cast our 4-drop. Next turn we can go Dusk Mage, Humiliate. This can maybe stabilize us because we can block there, block there. They did miss a land drop, which is notable. Oh, perfect. We're back in it. We only have 1 black mana, though, don't we? That does change things a little bit. If we had a second black mana, we would be in a little bit better shape. As it is, we're going to cast this guy. No attacks. And then next turn, we can cast Dramatic Finale. Light Scribe, eh? Beautiful. I'm still going to do this. Make your mark. That's pretty terrifying. Secret Rendezvous. What? Professor of Symbology. Well, I think given that they have Light Scribe in play, I just want to delay them for as long as possible. So I'm going to get rid of the Make Your Mark right now. Put a counter on that. And then next turn, I'll be able to play Dramatic Finale. So if they do kill my stuff, I'll at least get a counter. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. Bold strategy. We'll see how that works out for him. Cruminy. What could they have drawn? Well. Let's assume they're going to give all their guys +1/+1. So if they're giving all their stuff +1/+1, that's a good block. That's a good block. And this way I would take 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is just the most damage to block. And if they don't have anything, it's also a fine spot. So we'll block like this. I was hoping we could get Dramatic Finale down before they did this sort of thing. Okay, so they do Professor's Warning. It's tough. Real tough. Maybe I didn't block the right direction. They top decked that card really unfortunately, I must say. Yeah, we lose. That was rough. That was rough. Huh. How could we have blocked better? If we'd known that that was the card they had, like from some way or the other. We could have also, that previous turn, instead of going Humiliate plus Dusk Mage, we could have killed this and played Dusk Mage. I mean, and played the Humiliate as well. I guess I didn't really need the value from the counter onto that. but I felt like they weren't going to be able to attack us as well. So if I'm just going to concede here, I'm dead. But I'll just look at the board still. Because I just can't block all their stuff very clearly. So if I'd known what they had, I would have gone 2-2 onto this guy. I would have gone 3-4 onto the brackish trudge. But then I still lose when they go for +1/+1 counter on brackish trudge. Yeah. Huh. That's tough. They kind of had it all that game. I mean, they only drew 3 lands, but they had 1, 2, 3, and then they had this card, and then they top decked another cheap play once I killed the first one. I need them not to draw that. I wonder if I could have gotten Dramatic Finale into play, or if I could have used Baleful Mastery that turn. I could have gone Baleful Mastery, Humiliate, and then I would have had 2 blockers. I would have had this 2 Death Touch, and I would have had a 3-4. And they would have had these 3 things in play. Oh, and Brackish Trudge. They would have still had 4 creatures in play. And then they could just attack me with Brackish Trudge. And they're... I block. They give it Indestructible. So I lose one of my guys. Next turn, they still have 3 guys in play. They've got the Professor. I think I could have won if I had killed their Light Scribe with Baleful Mastery that turn. If I had killed this, they would have had 4 creatures in play. I would have had 2, but they would have been big enough that I could have blocked whatever they did. They attack with just this. I block with my probably 3-4, or no, with my Spiteful Squad probably, so I could keep the activated ability for Life Link alive and keep my guy growing. They give Indestructible. All of a sudden I have a 5/6 flyer. They have 3 creatures. This thing can start chipping in, but I'm still at a reasonable life total, and I have this card in hand. And Baleful, and I don't have this in Baleful Mastery, but I still have the Dusk Mage. Then I can play this. Yeah, I think I could have won that. I'll have to watch it back later. I should have just killed the Light Scribe. I thought I had an extra turn because they didn't have a play in hand. But I should have countered at the fact that they could have drawn something off the top of their deck. To be fair, if they drew a land, like a Plains to cast Secret Rendezvous, I was going to be in okay shape, I think, because I had reasonable blocks lined up. But them drawing a combat trick was probably just like the worst for me, because it meant I didn't have a good trades anymore. Okay, this is a good hand. Focus upon this game now. If I had drawn another swamp earlier, I could have maybe gotten my double spell with Dusk Mage plus Humiliate earlier. Overall, pretty tough spot. Really interesting. I think I could have won it if I just killed their Leonin thing on site, which I probably should have done. Star Pupil, okay. Probably gonna make it so I can't cast Dramatic Finale. Or maybe my flyer. Wow, that's a weird choice. Very bizarre. I think I'm just gonna try just jamming Dramatic Finale out. Just getting this out as soon as possible, and then just stabilizing by playing a creature every turn. I think that's my new plan. Sure. I get a 3/2 flyer whenever something dies, so if I trade this, I get a 3/2 that can still trade with that guy. Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna go this first. Nothing, okay. I don't need to deal 3 damage to them. I can just start draining them out with this. Okay. I think they should put the counters on the lore hold. Ledge Mage. And then I can start activating this or this. Probably this. Gain mint life. So we could obviously have a counter, like a trick of some kind here. But I'm just going to trade my 3-2. They could have the +1/+1 counter trick. But I'm not going to play around it there. Having 2 activated abilities is nice. And they scoop it up. Could I have made any different plays that game that would have made things better? I think playing this card just at ASAP is the key. I think I should have done that the previous match, not the previous match because I was so far behind. But I think I'm going to just try doing that moving forward. Just jam it as soon as I can. Hopefully I have a creature in play. If I don't, whatever. But because that way, when they make tempo plays to kill my creatures and keep pushing damage, I just get another creature. So I can make sure I get blocks that I need. So yeah. Still kind of thinking about that other game, but I learned my lesson. Kill Leon and Light Scribe. I guess it's pretty interesting spot. I took a more greedy line, but I did get rid of the Make the Mark, which was a conservative-ish play, and I just, yeah. Okie doke, so getting punished for my mountain here, but we have a good hand. If I draw any land, I can cast my stuff. Beautiful. Well, this is the dream. Guild sets are easier to draft, in my opinion. There's just fewer options. Velomachus Lorehold. Indeed. But yeah. You got the classic bluff attack situation. I think Callous Blood Mage is worse than it looks. Though that effect is pretty reasonable as a card. It's not like one of those like rares that just you can't beat ever. Have fun beating Dramatic Finale, bud. Got 2 of my bomb rares in play. It's nice. Oh gosh. Yikes. Hope to draw some spells soon, but we're okay right now. Sure. So they probably have put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. Let's block like this. Fuse with Vitality. Sure. Mm-hmm.
Here's to another great set and more great content.
Thank you so much, Amani. I appreciate that. Seven months. That's a while. Do they have another infuse? Yeah, they do. That's actually pretty good for me. Weird trade. Well, that's huge. I have to kill this with that. Stop them from gaining one extra life. Let's go. Pilgrim is so good in this deck right now. Oh, yeah. Get me the planes. That way this thing's only a 2/3, so I block there, take 4. Just gonna assume they draw nothing here. I could just be dead here. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from 2 drains, plus a combat trick. So can I afford to scry on upkeep? So if I scry on upkeep, I'll have access to 6 mana on my draw step, which means I can't double spell with Pilgrim with all of my cards. And I might need to draw a 6-drop or something like that to stay in the game. I'll just take a chance. Horrible whiff. One of the reasons I was attacking with these Inklings is so that they can't get up to 25 life, so that thing's not as scary to me. I wanted to be able to cast Rise of Exodus if I drew it. Oh, of course you drew a spell. Gosh darn it. That's just a real shame. That was tough. I don't think I could have done much differently there. I just drew like way more lands than they did, and I had a pretty clunky draw overall because of it. Pretty unfortunate. I don't think I could have really done much differently, which is interesting. Okay, we're going to keep this hand. We need to draw 2 lands. But I usually keep 2 landers on the play when I just need 1 land to really function, which is the case with this hand. If I get double Dramatic Finale in play, I'm going to have such a hard time losing. Once I get 1 more land, I'm in good shape. Still very winnable here. We're in good shape. We just need to land this turn. If I'm not going to draw a land, I might as well draw that. Get rid of the Bayou Groff. That's terrifying. They didn't want me getting rid of Snakeskin Veil, eh? Totally okay with that. I'm not going to be taking much damage, so I'll be able to just deploy my cards. I'm saving the swords for if they play a big creature that I really have to kill. That's a tad unfortunate. I'm still just going to discard the hand size here. I'll get rid of Dueling Coach. It's a bit of a slower card. Once I hit 1 more land, my Pilgrim of Ages can find me my 4th land. Let's go, we did it. And the Silver Quill Pledge Mages will get me back into it right quick. Sure. I'm totally okay with that. Let's see what they're working with here. H-duel, eh? That's good to know about because I can blow that out with my swords. And they can't play around swords. I get my first dramatic finale into play, and they concede. I have not played enough to have a strong opinion, Kalatakis. That's one of those games where you just need to stay calm, think about what you need to do to win, and not panic. Because they were flooding out a bit. We had a more land-like draw. Took us a few turns to find our third land, but we were just playing our cards out as safely as we could. Oh, gosh. Early scoop, they weren't going to win that game, I don't think. GG's. They had probably a land in hand, and we had all the spells we needed to win. On the draw, this is certainly a keep for me. One of the keys of drafting a good deck is making sure that you don't have to mulligan by just having like good colors and good mana a lot of the time. Things like that. Ooh, that card's really good. I want to kill that as soon as they play that. If I can. But I don't have removal right now. I don't think you'll have to lock in per se. Oh man, we aren't going to be able to snipe it before they get to play it. Yikes. You don't lock in per se. You actually kind of stay more open because if you find the open lane, you get so rewarded. Like we got past so many good cards. Which one are they going to play? Probably the Kiane. Kiane. Okay. I wish I could have jammed this thing to stop them. This turn I'm going to play this card. I'll certainly attack first, though. So next turn they're going to have 5 cards in hand, maybe even 6. I have to get rid of this card. They still get to play Professor of Zoomancy. Oh, what? That's what they're casting? I'm very confused. That's incredibly bizarre. So I'm going to attack. Because I do want to pressure their life total. Or they can get this thing going. And then I think I'll just get my 3-1 into play. Because I do need to get my tap land into play so I can maybe jam Rise of Exodus at some point. And if I do trade this off, I can get it back. It's just a mage duel. They can't access it, though. But they can make a 1/1 fractal. And they miss on land twice. But now they can make a 2/2 fractal. Sure. So we can jam this Rise of Exodus coming up to deal with... This is going to cost 6, so they won't have any stuff in hand by then. The Needlethorn's okay. The Zoomancy's okay for us. So we'll probably just kill that. If they want to trade, we're okay with that, because then we just play pillar drop, get our guy back, keep the pressure up. Oh, reach. Got him. They're afraid of the Silver Quill Apprentice. I think they probably just thought the Silver Quill Apprentice thing, but yeah, I did not know that had reach. I still might have attacked him anyway. Target a creature. This thing's going to get +1/+0. Lifelink. And then I think I still want to be able to play my Loremachus if I draw it. And the land will help me scry. Sure. So we have 3, 6, 7 mana. So it means I can play this thing and this thing this turn, which I like. I don't really care about reject at all. I'm just going to get rid of the Druid. Mentor's Guidance. Help to keep him stuck on lands, maybe. Next turn I can buff this guy up, attack past that guy. This card's going to be super useless now. Don't care. Oh, that's big. That's huge. This doesn't count as unless they pay 3, so I can just play this guy. Awesome, Jimmy. And then I'm going to play the Environmental Sciences, I think. Because I just want to start scrying. Or actually just activating this thing. I could have gotten a hit with this thing as well if I had waited a turn. But I figure I can just draw another spell that might be able to do the same thing. Sure. I'm not going to scry on upkeep because I want to be able to activate this. Yeah, I'm going to be activating the drain. Oh, that's huge. Oh, that's so big. Absolutely stunning here. So, where do we want the counter? Probably want the counter on the Elite Spellbinder. Yeah, because that way it can keep attacking turn after turn after turn. So, or we could just double buff this thing. And now they're in a tough spot. They've kind of been in a tough spot the whole game. I like keeping the 2/2 flyer around because if they trade with the Silver Quill, I'll still have flyers, whereas if they trade with this, I have only 2 flyers left. Wow. Elite Spellbinder doing work. Pillar Drop Rescuer getting back. Spellbinder doing work. Yeah, that was the logic behind it. I don't think they realized that they had reach, or else they would have traded with this guy, and they would have taken only 5. Then they were going to be attacked for 4, and I was going to drain them, so they were still going to be pretty much dead. Any interesting choices there? I think that the Elite Spellbinder did really good work there. And also we got to see how bad this card is. And they also whiffed every time they activated Kiana, which is kind of unlucky for them. I could have easily lost that if they had blocked. Hopefully we'll draw Velomachus one of these games. I really want to see how he does. They probably chose not to Weewa because I had the Silver Quill Apprentice in play, the thing that gives +1/+0 to a creature, and they didn't want to trade their 4/4 for my random 3/1. Thank you so much, Han Brosler, for the subscription. I really appreciate it. 3 months. Awesome stuff. Okay. Again, on the draw, triple planes hand. This is tough. I really hate mulliganing these sorts of things. I need to draw a swamp or I can't cast anything, though. I have 8 outs in my deck. So if I have 8 outs in my deck, there's like 30 cards, so it's like 1 in 4 every turn. I have a decent number of cards I could draw that would buy me time. I'm going to mulligan this. Ugh, gosh, it's so tough. I'm going to mulligan. That one was just too bad. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to get rid of Dueling Coach. Ugh. That's tough. This hand's even worse than the last one because it's missing on 1 land. Max punished in so many ways. Ouch. I don't think this is better at all. This is just like the exact same hand. Still pretty horrific. Yep. I feel like my opening hands have been just very bad. Maybe that's just bias, but I feel like I have not had the best opening hands, relatively speaking. And now I just need to draw a land and jam Dramatic Finale. I really wanted to get this finale into play. Oh, please draw a card to let me play finale. So they're just going to kill my guy no matter what. So I can take this, put a counter, give it lifelink, smack him for a bit. If I draw a land, if I draw any land, if I draw planes, I can jam this. For this. I'm definitely not blocking that guy. I'm not going to block. Never lucky, they say. Dang it. That's tough. Should have done that in the opposite order, I think. Should have attacked first. But now I'm at least holding this thing back. Oh, yep, nice. Okay. Just right on schedule with the planes. Worst possible draw on the deck. That sucks. Gosh, it's so hard. I'm so glad you enjoyed them, Green Mario. Wow. This just really did not come together. If I'd drawn a swamp, I could have maybe double spelled there, but... Oh, please attack with Spiteful Squad. Please, bud. Give me a flyer. Or at least someone in it, at least. Because I have a 3-2. Come on, swamp. Oh, I'm just dead. Jeez Louise. Wow. Oh, I just die. I'm dead no matter what anyway. Wow, that was tough. That was a real tough one. The mountain really punished us. We never got to see the Loromachus, though, which is kind of a bummer. Oh, I was really hoping to cast Loromachus at once. Doomblade. Does nothing against me, but I'll take it anyway, because I'm going to concede. Oh, gosh. Felt like our deck was pretty good. We had some close games. Wow. Did we go 3-3? Wild. I feel like the deck could have gone much better. No, we got 4-3. 4-3 is reasonable. Let's just show off the deck for everyone who just got here. We got Swords to Plowshares, Closing Statement, a couple good 2-drops, Light Scribe, Bleat Spellbinder, Baleful Mastery, Loromachus at the top end. Huh. That was tough. I wonder if adding in this 1-4 would have helped. Like, that's what I'm thinking. It usually felt like we did pretty well in the late game, but I don't know if having a 1-4 would have been better than any of these cards. Power level wise, it certainly wouldn't have been. Dueling Coach was okay. The game we drew it, a couple of games we drew it. It works well with the Dusk Mage and stuff. But I don't know if we would have done better if we'd had this. Interesting stuff for sure. Big dramatic finale fan. They did some pretty good stuff. We have like decent stuff to do on turn 2. Like the thing was I wasn't like opposed to casting Humiliate on turn 2, and so I have like 5 cards I'm fine casting on turn 2. And so I didn't think I really needed to put just such a horrible card in my deck. But I think the deck is very good. Like taking turn off to cast Humiliate, it's not the end of the world. It's a 2-drop still. Just felt like we always kind of... We had... The games we lost were usually when we were on the draw and had like a horrible hand. But that happens sometimes. I didn't end up playing these Owlins because they seemed a bit like not on plan. But yeah, pretty cool deck overall. If you were watching this on YouTube and you made it all the way to the end of the video, Remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment with your questions, thoughts, feedback. If you enjoyed the video, let me know. I always enjoy hearing from folks. You can also check out the Twitch stream live at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas, and you can support my work on Patreon at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and gain access to my card-by-card grade spreadsheet for Strixhaven. If you all made it all the way to the end, leave in the comments down below hashtag Velomachus no-show, because we never drew him a single time, which was just very sad because I wanted to play him. And actually we got really punished by that mountain in a game too, so we got to see the downside, but we never got to see the upside, which was kind of a sad moment. So hashtag Velomachus no show to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video. You can check out the Discord server, and my free articles linked in the description and pinned comment down below if you want more of my stuff. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.